Prologue, 13 years old.
I wish I don't have to leave you alone,
Noah said as he wiped my tears.
It's okay. You should go and train. Train hard and be the Terran's greatest king,
I said as I smiled at him. But he has to train and become a great king.
I will see you in 5 years,
he said as I nodded, trying hard not to cry. He hugged me one last time before moving to his family. They had their time before he walked to the portal.
I will see you all soon,
he said, waving his hand before disappearing into the portal with Violet, the daughter of Vickers and future second in command of the king. 15 years old, Veronica's POV.
Papa, I don't know what is happening to me. I have powers, but I can't control them,
I cried as Papa shushed me. I was wearing gloves and coat and everything else that would keep my skin hidden. My skin was marked with glowing red markings, and I felt myself on fire. He looked at me worriedly. His weak, almost dead silver eyes widened as he saw the marking on my skin. Swords of designs glowed red on my skin, and it's not just one place, but the whole of my body. Did anyone else find out? He asked as I shook my head.
I came to you as soon as I found out,
I said as he nodded. Baby girl, no one should know about this. You have to show others you are powerless. Tell Mrs. Galena to make the drink even more powerful. Also, I want you to visit Sir Wilfred in the Dark Terran, he said as I wiped my tears.
The scary bodyguard,
I asked as he nodded. Yes, he will train you to keep your powers inside you, Veronica. Under no circumstances should you ever use your magic. It's too dangerous, he said as I nodded.
Why?
I asked, confused, but he shook his head. I will tell you, but not now. All I have to say is be strong, stay under the protection of King Alistair, train without powers, he said as I nodded.
I will,
I said as he kissed my forehead. Stay strong. 17 years old. Veronica Abras, the elder consul, called as I took a deep breath and entered the platform. Mother Aria smiled at me as I walked to her. Congratulations, Veronica. After 4 years of intense training, I'm proud to declare you the commander warrior of the Obsidian Terran. She shouted loud, and as the crowd cheered, I looked at my father, who was standing on the far corner smiling proudly at me. He had 2 guards beside him, and his hand was still chained. Thank you. I promise that I will fight for the kingdom. I will serve the terrain with all my life and ensure safety to all, I said loudly as the crowd cheered at me. Philip Wilfred, Mother Aria called as a black-haired guy with green eyes walked to the stage. He grinned at me before bowing to the elders. Congratulations, Philip. After 4 years of intense training, I'm proud to declare you one of the second-in-command warrior of the Obsidian Terran, Mother Ariana said as he bowed and said his thank you. After the other trainees were awarded and titled as warriors, the real party began. We are finally top warriors serving directly to the king, Philip said as his fist pumped the air. Finally, I shouted as I mimicked him. Philip was the son of Sir Wilfred, my old-time bodyguard. He and I became great friends when I went to visit his father to control my powers. Philip is the only one who knows my secret. He knows all my flaws and knows how to control me when I lost my power. I can't believe my baby girl is a second-in-command warrior, Mother Aria said as she hugged me. Thank you, I said as I hugged her back. I'm sure Noah will be surprised at how well you have grown. Who knew a girl who was sweet and gentle become commander of warriors? She said proudly as I blushed. Noah, I miss him. I wish he was here when I got this position. I wish he would stand next to his father, looking at me proudly as I receive my place as his protector. I wonder what he is doing now. It has been 4 years since I have seen or heard of him. Only 1 more year before he comes back. I miss him so much. I miss his smile and his talk. I miss how he makes my heart skip a few beats every time he stares at me. He is my first crush. He is my only crush. Chapter 1. Veronica POV. I took a deep breath as the portal opened in front of us. It was finally the day Prince Noah returned from his 5-year training. All of the people in Terrain was excited for the return of the prince. The terrain was decorated. Everyone was outside the palace patiently waiting for him to walk out of the portal. It's going to be all right, Philip said as he walked to my side. I smiled at him and took a deep breath. Yeah, it will. I'm just nervous to see him again. It's been 5 years, I said as he huffed and laughed. Yeah, but it's soon over. No more days where I bit my ears off with the I miss him shits, he said as I laughed and playfully smacked his hand. Just don't forget you have a friend here, he said, grinning and pointing at himself. We'd never, I said, grinning back. The portal glowed light blue, indicating that a person had entered it from the other side. A girl walked out of the portal first. Violet. Her once long hair short and up to her shoulder. Her green eyes now have a fierce look, and she wore gear up just fit to be the viceroy of the terrain. Baby girl! Her mother, Hale, cried as she hugged her daughter. Mom, I missed you. I missed all of you, Violet exclaimed as she had a little reunion with her parents. The prince! Someone from the crowd called as my eyes immediately shifted to the portal. My breath stopped as a very handsome man walked out of the portal. His black hair was now grown and in a messy style. His blue eyes are more vibrant and hidden under those long eyelashes. He wore gear like Violet, but he was more a royal style, showing off power and strength. A shiver made way throughout my body, and my heart started to beat hard. My breath hitched as he gave a toothy smile to his parents. He quickly walked to them as they hugged and welcomed him back. His eyes began to roam through the royals present before it landed on me. He stared at me from top to bottom, as if I was some specimen. My body tensed as he continued to look at me for a few seconds. Vera? He called as he smiled widely at me. He walked to me, his eyes never leaving mine. I missed you the most, he said before hugging me. I was shocked for a moment as my body felt like it was on fire. My head felt like weight, and I found it hard to breathe. That is enough, Philip suddenly said as he pulled me away from him. I glared at Philip, confused and shocked by his behavior. I'm sorry, Prince, but she's your subordinate, and it is in our rules to not interfere with the prince other than in duty, Philip said as I looked at him shocked. What? Noah said as he glared at him. I could see his eyes were filled with anger. His whole body was tense as he kept glaring at Philip. What is Philip doing? He always joked and teased me in the name of Noah. He was the most supportive, saying Noah and I are meant to be. I'm sorry, Your Highness, but we need to leave, Philip said before dragging me away. Once we were out of everyone's sight, he let go of my hand as I kicked him in his knees. Oh! He shouted, clearly hurt by my high-heeled leather boots. What are you doing, Philip? I shouted at him angrily. Veronica, I'm sorry I did that, but when he hugged you, your power started to show, he said as my eyes widened. What? I said as he put his hand under his chin and frowned. I don't know what exactly happened, but I saw your mark glow, he said as my hand went to the birthmark on my back. It was surely a rat indicating its activation. But that's not possible. I can suppress it on my own, I said as he nodded. I think your body is reacting to him, he said as my eyes widened. What are you saying? I asked, confused and embarrassed at his statement. I'm not sure, but you like him, right? He asked as I nodded shyly. Your heart beats fast, you get nervous, your breath quickens. He said as I kept nodding, my face growing redder. You are losing your control when you are with him. He said, but it was more of a question than a statement. What should I do? I asked worriedly. I don't know. But for now, avoid being with him alone. Alone as in without me. Remember what my father told you. Your powers are most likely to trigger when you have overly feelings. He said as I nodded with a sigh. He might be right. I don't know why, but when I saw him today, I couldn't control my emotion. So Wilfred always warns me to keep my emotion under check, as it is the key to losing my control. I'm sorry this happened. I know how excited you were to finally see him. He said as I smiled and shook my head. It's okay. I'll see you tomorrow. I need some rest. I said before working my way home, trying not to cry. Noah POV. Noah, how was your training? Dad asked while we were sitting and eating dinner. It was intense, kind of hard, but I managed. I said as he smiled and nodded. I ate the chicken as my mind once again wanders off to Veronica. She has surely changed. Her once short white hair was now long, and it was braided to the side. Her pale skin was now slightly changed, but she still had her beautiful freckles. Her eyes were still the same beautiful yet mysterious gold ones. Her tie was the most shocking. She was not wearing her usual cute-like colored dresses and palm shoes. She wore a 3/4 black pant followed by a white button-up shirt. It was matched with a high boots and a black big wristband on both hands. My mind immediately wanders off to the black-haired guy who pulled Veronica away from me. Anger built me as I stabbed my dinner. Noah, are you right? Mom asked, shocked, as I shook my head. Nothing, I said before continuing to eat. So, Mom, how's Veronica? I asked as she smiled at me. I was wondering why you didn't ask. She said as I smiled and scratched the back of my neck. She is fine. During your absence, she trained hard to become a warrior. She'd always used to say she wants to make you proud. She worked hard, and despite being powerless, she excelled in everything. And everything, she said as I nodded proudly. She is now the Crown Warrior Commander, he said as my eyes widened. What? You mean she is in the elite group? I asked as they nodded. Fear starts to build inside me. An elite group is a group that goes on dangerous mission. Usually they accompany the king, and in this case, the prince on a dangerous mission. That's too dangerous for her, I said as my mother sighed. She is more than capable, she said, and silence followed as my mind went to the thoughts of my princess going on countless dangerous missions.